Skinner and Demoulas in Richfield Springs and R.A. Dudrek, the Window King, present Mohawk Valley Living, exploring the arts, culture, and heritage of our region. A special good morning to David and Monica, visiting with friends and family in Forestport.
Good morning and welcome to Mohawk Valley Living, and happy Labor Day weekend. This is our 8th annual Labor Day weekend special. We are digging deep into the archives and going back to our very first year, 2005, so stay tuned.
Let's not talk about it, just give me a kiss. Just give me a kiss. Give me a kiss. Hold me like this in the moment of grace.
Help your friends and neighbors affected by this spring's devastating flood. Attend Mohawk Valley Rock and Roll Relief, a 3-day event to raise money for flood victims. 3 days, 10 bands, free admission. But dig deep to donate to Mohawk Valley Rock and Roll Relief, September 6th, 7th, and 8th at the Shu-Maker Mountain Sports Complex on Cheese Factory Road in Little Falls. Special thanks to our presenting sponsor, R.A. Dudrek, for making the show possible. Watch Mohawk Valley Living, Sundays on Fox 33 and WUTR. And coming soon, a new magazine featuring show summaries, maps, guides, and more. Watch the show every Sunday and pick up the free Mohawk Valley Living magazine coming this fall.
When Samuel Clemens became Mark Twain, he coined the phrase petrified truth. Well, not too far from Richfield Springs or from Cooperstown is a place that's been around since 1934. I think I came here first when I was maybe 4 or 5 years old back in the 1940s. It is a terrific place. It's called the Petrified Creatures of Natural History Museum, and it is something worth traveling to for many things, including the fact that they have here talking dinosaurs, including this one, which is known as an iguanodon.
The museum has been here since 1934. It was started by Kirshner. He was an engineer for the state, and they were doing Route 20. And he found an inordinate amount of fossils. And he went to the state and asked them if they would do something with this land, that he thought it was something the state should be interested in. And the state, in their good wisdom, didn't do anything. So he came back 2 years later and leased the land. And I think for the first year, and he called it the Wilds. And he would take people on tour and then have them dig fossils and tell them about fossils, and people weren't aware of fossils at all. After that, in 1934, it became the Petrified Creatures Museum. He eventually sold it to Mr. and Mrs. Bromhall, and they're the ones who built the dinosaurs. And they had it for a number of years, and probably in the late 40s, early 50s. We bought it in 1972. It's a narrated exhibit on the paleontology of the area. We have life-size restorations of dinosaurs that now talk. And then we have the fossil dig, which is one of the best fossil digs in the Northeast. Over 40 different fossils are found here, all Devonian. You have trilobites and brachiopods and cephalopods and crinoids, and it just goes on. And it really is fun for the kids because it's hands-on.
Traveling round the Mohawk Valley, let's see what we can see. It's time for the Cooper Group's road trip.
I don't know about you, but to me, Richfield Springs was always the town with the clock in the middle of the road. It was right here. It had the directions on how to get to Albany. It had a wonderful clock. It had a traffic light on it. And it was there from 1918 until 1962, when, typical of the federal government, they got involved and made the town move it. and now it's over there in the corner of the park. Fortunately for all the history buffs among us, the clock is being restored under the efforts of Marjorie Walters. It's been over a year now since it's been taken down to start the restoration. It's a very complicated process because it was a very old clock. And when I asked Marjorie when it's going to be finished, she said she refused to answer on the grounds that it might incriminate her, but she assured me that it is going to be done and will be returned to this wonderful village of Richfield Springs.
It's time for the Cooper Group's road trip.
We get a personal tour of this historic village from Marjorie Walters, president of the Richfield Springs Historical Association. We met up with Marjorie at the Richfield Springs Public Library.
The Indians first found the springs here, which they called them healing waters. And in 1816, Dr. Horace Manley discovered their help for medicinal purposes for the general public. So it created quite a rush to get here and bathe in the waters and to drink that stinking water that Richard talked about. So there was a big influx those days by train, carriage, and what have you, to the 26 large hotels that were here and many of the guest houses for people to come and take the healing waters.
Let's see.
Baker's Beach, it's called, and it's on Route 28, just south of Richfield Springs, toward Cooperstown. And it was founded by Norman Rose Baker, who was also part of building the octagonal barn on the property just below the beach. In the early days, his wife opened the beach and the Boy Scouts cleared the land, and it was used for swimming. There was a tower there that was a diving tower, and there was a wonderful boat where people could take a tour of the lake, and that boat was called the T.R. Proctor, again, our famous benefactor in Richfield. The Lake House was a famous restaurant in the original times of Richfield Springs, and in the 1890s there were carriages every day to take visitors around the lake, ending up at the Lake House for a beautiful dinner. Our mural on the wall of the feed mill on Lake Street depicts Kippy Lewis talking to our photographer Cameron, telling him how big the fish was that he caught. But there was a good reason for it, because Kippy Lewis was one of the famous chefs in the area, and anyone that ever had the advantage of having one of his meals understood that he was not only a good fisherman, but he knew what to do with the fish after he caught it.
Here's what's hot on the lot at Skinner and Demoulas. Check out this 2013 Dodge Avenger, only 13,000 miles with a 7-year, 100,000-mile factory warranty. Was $17,995. Mohawk Valley Living fan price $16,995 at Skinner and Demoulas in Richfield Springs.
Everyone knows the Window King for windows because he's been selling good windows cheap for years. But R.A. Dudrak is much more than windows. He's windows and doors, kitchens and floors. So, whether you're looking for energy-efficient windows to save money this winter, or a new kitchen to brighten up those long winter months, the Window King has it all. Visit their showroom in beautiful Holland Patent and see for yourself why R.A. Dudrak is the Window King.
Melrose Supermarket is your family hometown market, known for their choice hand-cut meats, homemade breads, and fresh pastas and salads. Check out the weekly specials at Melrose Supermarket, East Main Street in Frankfort. Fall fashion is in full swing at the Village Crossing. New styles arriving daily, and summer clothing and shoes are 40% off at the Village Crossing in Clinton. Mark your calendars for the ultimate celebration of autumn, the 35th Annual Harvest Festival, September 14th and 15th at the Farmers Museum. This regional favorite brings together a wide range of performers, artisans, great food, music, animals, and family activities. Enjoy traditional 19th century music, horse-drawn wagon rides, apple cider pressing, and free rides on the Empire State Carousel. It's the 35th Annual Harvest Festival, September 14th and 15th at the Farmers Museum in Cooperstown. Buy the bushel and save at North Star Orchards. Take advantage of summer's bounty and stock up now for freezing and canning. Pick a peck of peppers. Choose from 8 varieties. Enjoy sweet nectarines and peaches from New York and Pennsylvania. Buy the bushel and save at North Star Orchards in Westmoreland. This week we head to Fim Country, the Frankfort, Ilion, and Mohawk area. These villages along the south side of the Mohawk River were once all part of German flats, settled by Palatine Germans in the early 1700s. 100 years later, they were connected to each other and the world by the Erie Canal. Lock E19 east of Frankfort provides a 20-foot lift for passing vessels.
I am here at Lock 19E, and I was told by the lockmaster Gary here that the lock behind us, when it is full, holds 3 million gallons of water. And here's something to add to your trivia notebook. The basic design of the gates back here, guess who it is? None other than Leonardo da Vinci.
It was the boom town around here when Gillette stepped off that train. Canals flowing, hops growing, new towns being raised. There were fortunes to be made, he was a well-dressed one-man show. A tail spinner, a heart winner with a lusty ego. It was a boom town around here, how I wished I was there. It was a rockin' boom town around here. With a girl named Grace working in a petticoat factory.
We head over the canal and into the village of Frankfort. And just like the businesses that set up along the canal in the early days, local businesses are still attracted to Frankfort. For over 100 years, Hale Manufacturing has been a leader in fine wood bookcases and cabinets. In 2003, Jim Benson and his brother John moved their family business to Frankfort. Today, their 60 employees build some of the same cabinets that were the company's flagship 100 years ago. We're given a tour of their 80,000 square foot state-of-the-art manufacturing facility.
Actually, this company started in Camden, New York, and that was prior to 1907. And F.E. Hale bought a building in Herkimer, New York, on German Street in 1907. He came here and incorporated. Yeah, the company was founded making sectional bookcases. They're hardwood bookcases. They had receding doors, and they stacked one on top of the other. My grandfather bought the business in 1952. He came out of New Jersey and just decided that he needed to work for himself and found this place was for sale. We decided to move here to Frankfort because we were outgrowing our space in Herkimer, and this was an industrial park and it was well suited for us, and Herkimer County put together a nice package for us. Why we decided, well, we weren't ready to retire, and we liked the thrill of business, and we wanted to continue on, and perhaps there was opportunity for the next generation.
Sound that made. Let me introduce my rocket A. Yes, it's great, just won't wait. Everybody looking for my rocket A. Moving on out, boosting and cruising along. Well, step for my rocket, baby, don't be late. We're pulling out about a quarter past 8. Just around the corner, gonna catch a nip. Everybody in market gonna take a little bit.
If you ask anyone in town how long Melrose Supermarket has been here, they'll tell you it's been here forever. This family grocery store on Main Street is always busy with local shoppers, just like when it was opened in 1977 by James Romeo. Today, his daughter Linda and her husband Joe carry on the tradition, providing their loyal customers with fresh cut meats and produce, as well as their own homemade products in the deli.
We have all the same clientele, so we're all like one big happy family. When they come in, it's you know them by name, you know them, what they want, everything. Yes, the kitchen makes homemade different pasta dishes, breads, salads. Anything that you want is in the case.
Be sure at one time or another to try all their different kinds of bread here. They have chicken wing bread, they have sausage from Boli, chicken wing again, pepperoni roll, and then be sure to try the Danny Boy, which is ham-roni? Ham, pepperoni, ricotta, and red peppers. This is named after the owner's son, who in the middle of the night came up with this idea for a brand new bread. Try it, it is fantastic.
To see what we can see, traveling round the Mohawk Valley. Let's see.
Here's what's hot on the lot at Skinner and Demoulas. Check out this 2013 Dodge Avenger, only 13,000 miles with a 7-year, 100,000-mile factory warranty. Was $17,995. Mohawk Valley Living fan price $16,995 at Skinner and Demoulas in Richfield Springs. Watch regional artists capture the beauty of Old Forge Labor Day weekend during the Plein Air Paintout presented by View. Attend the Preview Cocktail Party Saturday night and the Art Auction Sunday, September 1st at 4. The Old Forge Plein Air Paintout Labor Day weekend. For the most unique shopping experience, visit the Little Falls Antique Center and the shops at 25 West. Over 40 local vendors all under one roof. Shop local at the Little Falls Antique Center and the shops at 25 West. Always worth the drive at Canal Place in Little Falls. Brenda's Natural Foods is the natural choice for healthy local products, gluten-free and gourmet foods, personal care and natural cleaning products. Brenda's Natural Foods, West Dominic Street in Rome. Shop Shelter for handmade Adirondack furniture designed by craftsman Jim Kiefer. He works with you to create custom pieces to your specifications, from dining room and coffee tables to bookcases, beds, and bunks. Call or visit Shelter on Main Street in Old Forge. Why do contractors and do-it-yourselfers shop Lincoln Davies? It's the superior grade lumber, the value for the money, the 140 years and 6 generations of customer service. Since 1872, Lincoln Davies has delivered superior lumber, value, and service, and they're not about to change things now. Celebrating 140 years at the same location, just 10 minutes south of New Hartford on Summit Road between routes 12 and 8. Lincoln Davies, building them like they used to. Call Yannick Excavating for all your residential and commercial projects, from new construction and land clearing to septic systems, driveways, basements, ponds, and topsoil. Visit yannickexcavating.com. Expecting company? Just call Deansboro Superette. They prepare delicious Middle Eastern platters for any number of guests. Call 841-4377. The Newport Marketplace is a new kind of Main Street with over 40 vendors of antiques, primitives, and country chic, and handcrafted art, jewelry, and Amish baskets. New items arriving daily at the Newport Marketplace on Route 28, just 20 minutes from Utica, Little Falls, and the Valley. We have an appointment with the Frankfort Volunteer Fire Department, but when we arrive, we smell smoke, but it's the good kind, the smell of lunch being cooked on a grill. Upstairs, former Fire Chief Glenn Asno seems to know his way around the kitchen and invites us to lunch with the crew. After lunch, Fire Chief Congelero tells us about the Frankfort Fire Department's long tradition.
Well, originally the fire companies, which there were 3 of, were formed by at the Gates Match Factory. It was a match factory that manufactured the first sulfur match in the United States of America, and obviously they needed fire protection. And in them days there were companies, and they formed the first 3 companies until the fire protection, the plant needed more room, and in 1871 they built a fire station here, and also they donated the engines, steamers, horse-drawn engines, to the village of Frankfort, and it was when the fire department was originally formed. We have currently on staff, we have about 54 members. About 40 of those members are trained and qualified to different levels of fire protection. We cover 17.5 square miles of district, both in the village and the town of Frankfort, and we have about 550 calls a year. The majority of those calls are emergency medical. But one of the things that most people don't realize is the fire department provides emergency services for floods, tornadoes, rescues, so that requires a gamut of training, a specialized training to do water rescues, low-angle rescues. It's basically, other than if it's a law enforcement issue, they call the fire department. When there's a disaster such as a flood, power outages, snowstorms, it's the fire department that's always called to help folks in the time of need.
Being prepared requires training. Chief Congelero gives us a ride out behind the fire station to the training grounds. We're introduced to Captain Stan Dorzinski, a career firefighter and the department's training officer.
This is the Firefighter Combat Challenge that will be debuting at our open house in October. It's designed to bring in both boys and girls ages 15 to 18 through the high school program to give them a taste of what we do on the fire scene and as firefighters. With it, there's different stages throughout the competition. There are teams of 3. They will be suited up in full turnout gear along with breathing apparatus. Won't be breathing air, but they'll at least get to feel the weight as far as what these things are built of. So, yeah, I got in when I was 18 years old, actually through our current chief now, who came to me and said, "Would you be interested?" And I've been here for 14 years now. I just love it. You know, I love the people. I love the people that I work with, and you know, I just really enjoy helping people.
We visit with some of the vendors at the Farmers Market on Main Street in Mohawk. Be sure to show your support of local farmers by visiting the market these last few Wednesdays in September and October from 2 to 5 p.m. We continue along to 5S and east to Old Herkimer Church. It's wonderful to see the dedication the community has in maintaining this historic landmark. Since our last visit a few years ago, the restoration project has continued, and a treasure was recently uncovered.
We were doing work in the church. The pulpit was painted white, and we decided that we should repaint it white. And so we wanted to make a good base for the paint, and we started to sand it off. And lo and behold, under the white paint was the decorative pulpit. And so rather than paint that white, we wanted to conserve it, restore it, however you want to say.
Most of it was here, but probably the reason that they painted it white back in the turn of the century was because it was worn and old looking, and that's what it was when we uncovered the actual paint. So my job was to ensure that all of the original paint that was there was stable and kept on the pulpit. So the remaining white paint was removed over a 6-week period with scalpels and dental tools, chip by chip, to ensure that everything that was there stayed there. And then the process that we're undergoing right now is restoration of the surfaces, which is carefully filling in all of the areas of loss. So if you look carefully at what you're doing, you'll see islands of the original paint. For example, this area, that's an island of original paint. These are streaks of original paint, and we've simply filled in the areas in between.
We have a lot of things going on. We have work going on at the Fort Herkimer Church, which you've already seen. We have built a gazebo off to my right over here. We have moved a one-room schoolhouse into the town park. That's an exciting venture. That's taken 2-3 years of permits. We are presently under construction for a community hall, and we have our trail. So we are full bore ahead of trying to preserve the history for the future.
In 1866, James B. Turnbull walked to farms and villages to visit his customers, earning their trust. Today, the 4th generation of Turnbulls continue that dedication, tailoring a life insurance plan to suit your unique needs and priorities. Turn to the company that is out there to earn your trust. Turn to Turnbull. Do something about your chronic pain. InterX therapy can be the answer to your post-surgical or sports injury rehabilitation or chronic neuropathic pain. Call Dr. Michael Tucciarone at 853-6225 for non-invasive InterX therapy.
Hi, Dr. Tom. Bringing your cat to the Paris Hill Cat Hospital on Sundays is a part of Mohawk Valley living. Come inside and see why.
Paris Hill Cat Hospital, this is Lindsay. How can I help you? Hello, Mrs. Cole. Your cat is losing weight and you need an appointment? And you're only available on weekends. Sure, I have an available appointment with Dr. Karen Sunday at 2 p.m. Does that fit into your schedule? Okay.
We're open 7 days a week because we know that your cat can become ill anytime. The Paris Hill Cat Hospital, quality care for your cats and kittens.
That special art, photograph, or memorabilia deserves a special frame. Oscars creates one-of-a-kind gold and silver leaf mirrors and frames. Oscars Picture Framing, 12 Kellogg Road, New Hartford. Have a tropical adventure and walk among hundreds of free-flying butterflies, tropical birds, plants, lizards, and frogs at the Pop Butterfly Conservatory. It's an unforgettable experience for all ages. Open 7 days a week on Route 7 in Oneonta. When you shop Mealan's Market, you'll be the grill master. That's because every hot dog, beef patty, and sausage is made by Bob Mealan himself. Find everything for your next cookout, from store-made meats to fresh salads and tabbouleh, at Mealan's Market at the Four Corners in Clark Mills. Experience the Fenimore Art Museum, overlooking beautiful Otsego Lake. Spend the day exploring the permanent collection of American Indian art and one of the nation's largest collections of American folk art. Current exhibitions this summer include The Wyeths, A Family Legacy, including works by N.C. Wyeth and Andrew Wyeth, and Nature and the American Vision exhibition, highlighting 19th century Hudson River School artists, on display at the Fenimore Art Museum in Cooperstown. Tom's Natural Foods is your connection to local farms for natural and organic fruits and vegetables, meats, eggs, cheeses, and other milk products. At Tom's Natural Foods in Clinton, naturally. The first electric lights in Ilion were installed in 1884, with electricity manufactured by the Remington Electric System in the Armory. The current municipal utility first produced electrical service in 1900.
We have our main transformers out here located in the substation, and the voltage comes in at 4,160 volts, feeds into this panel of circuit breakers. Now each circuit breaker goes to a different part of the village. Okay, some will go up to the high school, some goes way up, way up on, there's a Bell Hill rural area that we feed, and then we have 8 circuits down at located at this substation. We have another 6 circuits down at the West Clark Street substation, which feeds the lower end of town, the downtown area, over toward the Remington School area and down in that area. So it's just like your house circuit breakers, where one feeds a bedroom, this is feeding a certain part of town, different streets, and then it's sectionalized throughout the village. We're starting to get into the LED lighting, and we did relight one street, the Behringer Road, and it's a costly changeover. So we could do it a little bit at a time, because we're not real, we're not making, we make money, but not enough that we can just do the whole village. It'd be impossible. So we try to hopefully rely on some grants or something like that we'll find out, through the state or our federal government, because everybody's trying to go green now. So we're just trying to find the money, but we're doing a little bit at a time just to keep up with it.
For the long-term benefits.
Right, for the long-term benefit. It'll take a while to pay back, but it'll, in the long term, for our little kids growing up, someday it'll be good for them,
Got a head like